The Transylvania adventure of Simon Quest is an expertly crafted homage to the classic days of the NES, its biggest inspiration being the Castlevania games. The game comes from Programmancer, created almost entirely by one person. The story setup is a great one too. Your hero, Simon Quest, shows up in Transylvania to take care of the evil Count Dracula once and for all, but your rival Stan Helsing already beat you to the punch. So obviously there's only one thing to do in this situation: travel across Wallachia and gather the body parts of Count Dracula so you can resurrect him, only so that you can then kill him for yourself. Transylvania Adventure feels like it captured what makes the first 3 NES Castlevania games absolute classics, but combined them into one great package. You've got the stiff yet deliberate walking and jumping right from Castlevania 1, the open world quest structure with the day-night cycle and leveling system, that's a direct homage to Castlevania 2, and then you've got the fast-paced, acrobatic slide tackle, which reminds me of Grant from Castlevania 3. And the comparisons don't stop there. The Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest also borrows the same game difficulty. You'll be up for a good challenge. The enemies are clever and surprising, and the platforming can be really tricky. Just take a look at this segment. The game also has the familiar and frustrating knockback when taking a hit, but it's usually not so bad. Programmancer does a great job at giving the player nearby checkpoints throughout the game. But this game doesn't just pay homage to the Castlevania series. You can also find nods to classic Doom, Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda 2, Resident Evil 4, and some nasty birds that remind me a lot of Ninja Gaiden. And I'm sure you've already noticed the pixel art is an absolute joy to look at. The game looks like it could be using similar hardware as the NES did, but then you get moments like this, and the NES couldn't pull off color palettes like this. And Programmancer does a great job at creating memorable scenes. Just take a look at this scene from outside Bram's castle, or watching the moon come up from over the horizon. The limitation of the pixel art feels like it's from the 80s, as does the music. You'll find some really catchy and foreboding tunes all throughout your adventure, and everything you hear sounds like it's coming from the NES's limited sound chip. So obviously it's impossible to talk about this game without bringing up the Castlevania games, yet Simon Quest isn't trying to hide that. But at the same time, this game is a lot more than just an homage. The unique characters you meet, the varied locales you'll visit, the fun side quests like healing the Potion Master's daughter help create the game its own identity and give it a much more modern feeling. Simon can level up, as can your gear, and you can visit shops so you can buy whatever sub-weapon you want. And there also seems to be a Metroidvania aspect to the game. There were certain areas that were too dark for me to explore or needed a double jump to access. The in-game map also teases at a larger world to explore within the full game. And there's also a bunch of fun minigames to give you a break from whipping skeletons in the face. So if you've made it this far into the review, you're probably a fan of NES games already, which means that this game is made for someone like you, especially if you're a fan of the Vampire Hunter series. But on the other hand, if you're here just for fun and don't have so much nostalgia for the NES, I'd warn you that the stiff controls and often frustrating deaths can be a turnoff, but I wouldn't let that get in your way of at least playing the demo. I really do believe that the Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest sits alongside modern classics like Shovel Knight, Cyber Shadow, and the 2D Bloodstained games that show off how you can take a classic formula and inject modern touches to make it a must-play. The game has been in development for years already, and there's no release window yet, but you can follow Programmancer on Twitter or Itch.io for updates regarding the game. You know, I'm such a fan of Castlevania games, new and old, so I already knew that this game would line up with my interests. And I was really happy after I played some and saw how the game is obviously made with love to the old series. The combat is a blast, with bosses that made me retry many times. The levels are challenging, and still, we've only seen a slice of the full game within this demo. Konami hasn't done anything significant with Castlevania in the last few years, and this does feel like a full-on sequel to the first 3 games that we deserve. So I'm in, I want more. Thanks so much for watching.